Hi friends, and welcome back to our 40-day sugar fast. We're going through the book by Wendy Speake, the 40-day sugar fast, and we're on day 5. Today, I cannot believe it. It has been exciting, and I have really been enjoying this book and just checking in with you guys every day. And today she starts off quoting Jeremiah 15:16, and it says, "Your words were found, and I ate them. And your words became to me a joy and the delight of my heart." And I am reading through Jeremiah right now and just read that verse. And so I've been meditating on this verse and love it because it talks about eating God's words and how it's a joy to our heart and a delight to us. And that's how God's word should be. It should be something that brings us so much joy that we run to it and want to consume all we can. She talks about a story in her own life where she was fasting and decided to take a cake stand like the one I have here and display a stack of Bibles on them. And it was just a good visual reminder to her to feast on God's word. And anytime she had that craving for sugar or to be eating something snacky or nibbling on something sugary, that she could, it was right there, and it was a good reminder for her to go to God's word during those times of temptation, to feast on God's words, let God's word be the joy of her heart. And I thought that was so cool, just to have that visual example in front of us is sometimes very helpful. And so I found my cake stand and I put my Bible on top, and I think it's beautiful. It's a good reminder for us. She mentions, "Each time I was tempted to mindlessly grab a handful of sugar-coated something, I grabbed a hold of my well-worn Bible instead. Feasting on God's word, fasting from sugar, became the theme of my afternoon and evenings, any time of the day or night that my stomach growled again." It's that constant reminder that we can run to God during these times. She mentions later on, she said, "Each time I fast from food, I rediscover that Christ truly is sweet as honey in my mouth. Unfortunately, after some time has passed, the flavor fades and the things of this world attempt to crowd him out again. That's why I fast for 40 days a few times a year. Each time I forget to feast, I fast in order to remember." I think that's so great, that this is just not a one-time thing, that, this draws us into this more intimate relationship and time with God, that we're fasting from something, turning to Him during those times, and how it can be forgotten over time, how sweet God's word is, how sweet it is to depend on God so holy, and that fasting does that. And so she recommends doing it a couple times a year just to bring and keep that sweetness close between you and God, which I think is great. She says, "One of the practical things that I've learned during my seasons of fasting and feasting is that God's word can be served up all day long in different sized portions." And I have found that as a mother of young children, that my so-called daily devotion time, quiet time that I used to have has just really changed over the years. And I have found where I get snippets throughout the day, like a small article I'll read here or reading in a good book, things like that that draw me to God's word. But then I do find those times sometimes where it is quiet and I do have 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour of myself alone with God, and that those are times that I can really drink deep. But God's word can be given in any size portion. You don't have to feel like you have to sit down and have a selected amount of time for it to mean anything. We can be feasting all day long on God's word. So good things here. I hope you have been enjoying this and that you've not missed sugar, and that you have sensed that God is doing something much bigger in your life. So feast on God's word today, and I will see you tomorrow.